Hey, what is up, everyone, and welcome to Market Psychology 101, where we look for value in the markets when there's fear and are cautious when there's greed. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin mining stocks. And if you're new to my channel, I like to break down crypto and stocks in a way that we can look at how to increase the value of our investments and to make investing more of a stress-free, easier thing to do. Of course, do your own research as you look into things. So, Bitcoin mining stocks, some of them have been pumping lately. So, of course, there's more news about the Bitcoin mining stocks. We're going to be taking a look at the charts with those shortly. Let's go to the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. We did get into extreme greed. And something important to know, guys, this isn't always a one-to-one correlation. However, here we did get into extreme greed. Going into the ETF approval, it was a sell the news event so far, and now we've come back up really close to it. So we'll see if greed is about to go higher for Bitcoin. Something else to consider for Bitcoin, altcoins, mining stocks is this rainbow chart here. And I know we only have 4 sets of data points, but something to consider is if we are in another 4-year cycle, which means the peaks are about 4 years apart, that the price of things such as Coinbase stock, Bitcoin miners tend to go up with the price of Bitcoin when Bitcoin's doing well. So just something to keep in mind that while you may be buying these stocks and looking for them to do their own individual thing, they are very strongly tied to the performance of the crypto market. Before we get into all the Bitcoin miners, and I have a list of about 9 or 10 of them, let's take a look at Bitcoin. So again, you see this wick up here to the 382. This is a macro fib from the previous high and low, and you can see that we got to 49K, and then, like I told you, is the sell the news event. So you can see that back here, we came down, and now we're coming back up. So there's one of two ways this can go. If you look at the last year, since the bottom, we've been in this uptrend. I have this trend line to reflect that. The price has been obsessed with that trend line, as well as these macro fibs that I just showed you. And so overall, it looks like we're still going up with that trend line. However, if we are to have a reversal of it, something you might notice here is that there is some bearish divergence with the RSI. We were going down here, and if you drew a trend line here in the RSI, you can see we broke above it. However, you could say that if it only gets so much strength that there is even more macro divergence, which means higher price, lower RSI, that's relative strength index, and maybe we could come down this way for a little bit. So what I'm watching for on Bitcoin is to see whether it's going to create a higher high here or if it's going to go lower. So if it stays around these levels and does not get above here where we were at about 49K with the ETF approval, if Bitcoin does not get above there, then I would expect it to then eventually come down here. So sort of a Elliott wave pattern here. Alternatively, like we've been doing for the last year or so, if it gets above, then we're just creating higher lows and continuing up this trend line. So take your pick. Let's get into the Bitcoin miner stocks. And first we are going to start with Marathon Digital Holdings. And let's go to the weekly. The RSI is going up. The price is going up. This looks bullish. This looks good to me. And what else looks good is we have a buy signal on the weekly with this indicator, and it's staying above this red line, which would signify the 20 MA there. I have some other buy sell indicators that have a little bit more of a lagging effect. So this one hasn't confirmed the buy yet. Still thinking about it. If you wanted to wait for more confirmation, here is an indicator that does wait a little bit longer. But if you do want to front run it, the other indicator I showed you is one saying that, hey, this might be a good time to buy on the weekly, which is a pretty strong indicator. It may be time to get in. On the monthly, we last had a buy signal down here at around $10, and it's doubled. So we've gone up there on the monthly. As you can see, we're zigzagging around. Might there be, you might say, maybe there's a sell signal coming, and we're still going to be creating macro higher lows here on the monthly. So even if it did get micro bearish, it could still be macro bullish if you see how I'm moving the cursor right there. Let's move on to the next one. RIOT. I've heard RIOT's been doing well lately. Looks very similar to Mara. And let's take this off the monthly, go to the weekly. So actually, let's go back to that because there was something I noticed and didn't say anything about. In the current month, you can see we have a sell signal. Now, this is the current month we're in, so this can change. However, for RIOT, this is showing a sell signal right here. So maybe we're going to come back down and price somewhere where this moving average is somewhere around 10.20. Right now, the price is, what does it say? It's at 14. So maybe it's going to come down to about 10.20 if we go to the weekly here. And so it's saying 14.55 and currently at 12.7. So what that probably means, if I had to guess, is that's just after hours market trading. So when it's going to open up, it's going to be higher. So that's what it's looking like. On the weekly, we have a buy signal, which is contradictory to the monthly signal. We had a sell signal here, and we went down from, that looks like, yep, the 236 fib to the 618. So that was a good move down, and now we're bouncing back up. So it looks like things are getting ready to possibly be bullish again. So we moved down 42%, and then from that bottom there, we've moved up. If we're going to this 14.55 amount, that would be 50% up. So again, sort of like I was showing you in Bitcoin, if Bitcoin gets above 49K, I would expect us to then go higher. So it looks like the markets are possibly trying to front run that if it happens, or if Bitcoin does not go higher than that 49K level I showed you, we could just be zigzagging downwards. So we have a sell signal currently on the monthly. However, on the weekly, we have a buy and we're going up in price. So flip a coin. Looks like it could go either way. CLSK, Clean Spark, very similar. However, you can see this wick, that one's shooting up. So we've wicked up already higher. So now we have to redraw our fibs. We've already moved up higher. And anything that we notice here, now that we moved up the fib, and that is where we have this lower wick was on the 618 at 7.64. However, we're up here. So out of all the stocks, the minor stocks that we've looked at, Marathon looks like it has a very strong movement upwards. I think not only does it look strong as a chart, probably has better value than Clean Spark. Clean Spark does look to be a little bit more overbought and higher in the price comparatively. RIOT, you might be able to catch it at 14 before it goes up. Again, weigh your own risks. And for me personally, I like to buy and hold for at least 5 years when it comes to stocks. And for crypto, 12 months or more if I can. And so you are taking a little bit of a risk because you might buy it here, and again, we might be zigzagging down to this trend line that we've been moving up on, at least with Clean Spark. So maybe we're coming back here. Alternatively, you can see how we zigzagged up to this fib, the 618, and then zigzagged down, zigzagged up. Maybe here we're getting ready to eventually zigzag down. This wick, that's macro bullish so far. So I wouldn't expect us to go down until much later if we are to touch this trend line again, and that might be here. So let's take a look at CIFR. So CIFR here, you can see I drew the fib from this end, and we have this long-legged doji forming, and it is green. However, these can dramatically react and go either way. So no confirmation on buy signal yet. However, guys, a lot of these cryptos and stocks tend to be pretty strongly correlated. So if you do believe that crypto is going to be going up right now pretty soon, then it's not the worst idea to take a risk on this. So does this have as strong of a chart as the others? Maybe not. However, it does have potential for more value in an investment. So right here, CIFR sitting on the 618. at around $3. And as you can see, after market close, it's gone up a little bit. So it'll be opening up here right near the 0.5 fit. So it does look like we're getting ready to go up. And as you can see, the zigzag pattern, maybe we're getting ready to blast off to a new high. So there is some potential there. You can see we're getting up here, creating higher lows, higher highs. So it's possibly getting ready to shoot off. So CIFR, not the worst area to get in. Let's keep looking at Wolf, TeraWulf. Very similar to CIFR. Let's move that out a little bit. Make sure I'm hitting that wick as well as I can. And what do we see here? Well, as you can see with my trend lines, we are sort of forming this wedge or flag pattern, if you will. And when we form these flags, this is another thing that can show you that the price of a stock or crypto can go dramatically either way. So if this thing does keep tightening up in this wedge, this flag formation, that maybe it's going to eventually shoot up or down. So something to consider. As far as the price, you can see it's gone up from where it is. So it's at, or even a little bit above the 618. So getting back above the 618, I would say that's bullish as far as now. We did get this buy signal down here. So yeah, overall, I think it looks good. If we go down and click the year and look at the daily, I just want to see what the RSI is doing. You can see that we're still coming up. Now, whether the RSI peaks over here, maybe we'll have bearish divergence and it does get higher in price. Maybe the RSI is going to go higher. So there's some time left, but I'd say right now it does look it does look bullish. Let's do Digital, BTBT. Move this fib out a little bit. You can see it's been a little bit since I've looked at some of these. And where are we at here? So this does look more bearish than the others. Not as much strength in the charts, more weakness. And again, this is where you have to weigh. Are you looking for a riskier play, more potential for higher multipliers, getting deep value? If so, you might be buying and holding on to this to the very end of the 4-year cycle, which I reference over here, till the next peak, and selling when we're starting to get up to, somewhere from 120,000 to 190,000. So you might be waiting for that for a while. Sorry, I'm chewing food right here. My cat knocked over a bag of candy. There's one left, and so I took executive action so my cat didn't eat some chocolate. I apologize. Real professional here. So potential for more deep value. As you can see, we had accumulation down here. Might we be getting accumulation here? Something that is concerning to me is we're getting lower in the price. However, let's look where the RSI is. The RSI does look to possibly be going higher, so that would be bullish divergence. So if this did come back down, and I'm not sure it will if crypto is going to hit or go above 49K, but if it did, it might not be the worst place to buy in down here if you believe it is going to go up and crypto is going to do well, then maybe it's a good entry point. But again, all because a chart looks like it can give you more multipliers does not make it a stronger chart. It means it's weaker, and if you buy something like this, you have to be ready to sell when it pumps and gives you a 2x, 5x, 10x. Sell it and never look back because there's not as much strength behind it. However, obviously sometimes you might find diamonds in the rough, but I don't want to give you guys financial advice. However, a lot of times when I've seen this play out with weaker charts, that when you get your profits, it can be okay to just take them and not look back. Let's take a look at Bitfarms. So if we go out on the weekly, we are currently in a buy signal. Doji possibly getting ready to shoot up. higher lows, higher highs. Not since here, obviously. Even the RSI looks like it's going to be going up again. So I would say medium low term bullish. However, it depends where we're going to see the RSI rest. Is it going to start forming bearish divergence and we come down here? Or is it possibly going to just keep going up for a little bit? So take your bets. This chart does look better as far as a fib. Let's just go from this low to this high here. What do we got? So we are currently getting above the 236. Or I'm sorry, we're getting over here at the 382, which it was at $2.36. Now it's at 272. 272 puts us near the 236, which is up here. So it might be getting ready to make new highs here. And this is one where let's take a look at more of the lagging indicator. So no buy signal yet, just like, what was it, RIOT that we looked at? That didn't quite have confirmation yet. So no buy signal yet. We did get that sell signal. I wonder on the monthly, does it say anything different? No, just had a buy signal, been going up since then. So that's where Bitfarms is at. Stronger looking chart. Looks to have more room to run. Two more, IREN and HUT. So IREN, or Iris Energy Limited, looks very similar to what we just saw, no? So if we take a fib and go from the low to the high, leaving everything back there, we close at 594, which is, that's way up here. So that's getting really close to the 382 up here, even though it closed here. A lot of after hours market buying. When this is the case, guys, this is just me. This is why I say time in the market's more important than time in the market. This thing's already going to be jumping up to here, so you might be chasing a pump. And not to say that you can't make money. So, for example, you see this wick when we got to buy, maybe in after hours at one point, it was up here. Yes, you didn't get the low. However, you still would be in the green as of now, and you would have ran from $4 to around $9.50. Yes, we've gone back down, but again, higher lows, higher highs. Hopefully it keeps going back up. There is, let's see here, we are lower in the RSI, and are we higher in the price? So we're right there at 815 and here. Yeah, higher in the price, lower in the RSI. So you could say macro bearish divergence a little bit, and maybe that's why we're getting more of this rainbow rounding sort of pattern here. So yeah, we'll see. Again, if Bitcoin gets above 49K, I do believe a lot of these will be making newer highs real soon, as far as within the last year. Last one, let's take a look at HUT. I believe HUT was the one that had a really odd macro chart. Maybe it was a different one. It was a different one. I forget the name of it, but it was a different one. So on the weekly, we have the sell signal. You can see here we're forming a base. Let's take a look. So yeah, as we look at the last 3 months, you could say accumulation, but then broke down. But now we're creating, in this new trend, some higher lows. Here, maybe we're going to be creating a higher high, and after we sold off, we might be starting a new trend up. You can see the RSI, it's overbought right now. So that's on a micro time frame. On the daily, you can see that we're possibly getting ready to break through this resistance that was made from all these lower points and shoot back up. Maybe these macro peaks, how they're going lower, is concerning to me. RSI going lower, overall, a lot of that does look bearish, just straight bearish. However, if a reversal were to happen pretty soon and Bitcoin is going to go up above 49K, this might be a deep value play. And obviously with these lower market cap Bitcoin mining stocks, maybe you can get more multipliers out of your play. Let's take a look again at the weekly. So no buy signal yet. However, I would consider this. Even though with some of the smaller cap stuff, they don't always run as well as the large caps. I will say they do tend to follow. Not always, but they can. We do have this base. We do have this higher low. Yes, we have a couple of competing trends here on the micro and macro. Take your picks. However, if you are looking to get deep value out of a Bitcoin mining stock, and you do believe that Bitcoin is going to break above 49K and you want to take a shot, this is not the worst place to get some deep value on a lower cap mining stock. Again, do your own research. See what the stock's all about, what the revenue is, what their expenditures are, how much extra cash they have, because should there ever be a recession or anything like that, some of these companies could go under. And something else to consider, I've seen the news going both ways on this as they've been reporting. So into the ETF, I saw bullish news on Bitcoin miners. When the ETF sold off, I saw bearish news on miners. News articles saying that because we have the halving, that means that there will be half the amount of Bitcoin being mined. That's what happens each halving. Half the amount of Bitcoin is being mined, and so that creates a supply crunch. And now the news is saying that supply crunch is going to create more of a demand and then drive the prices up. So it's funny how the news comes out and just sort of confirms what the trend is. And this is what I try to teach you guys about here at Market Psychology 101, is look for fear in the market. And I know we only got down to neutral here on the fear index, but you could say that maybe we're going higher. And if we look at max on fear and greed, overall we're still in an uptrend, and we have not yet reversed course. Again, if Bitcoin doesn't break above 49K, that might be a possible reversal to go down this direction. Or we could break above 49K and just keep going up to these prior peaks here. So it's kind of funny how the news sort of matches the sentiment of what's happening. On one hand, you have the bearish news when prices going lower to try to keep people out of the market probably, and say, well, half the amount of Bitcoin's being mined, and so it's going to have half the amount of value, and miners are going to tank. You can look this up for yourself. There were articles literally 2 weeks ago saying this. Now we have the opposite. Now we have a lot of articles. These stocks will soar. So take the news with a grain of salt. Try not to buy into this hype. Market Psychology 101, when there's fear, when there's FUD, if it is a stock you like, if it's something you use, something you feel potential about, when you see the FUD, if you're already putting in, and when these stocks are going down and you see these negative articles, these are the times to buy. When we're down here, when we're getting lower in the fibs, when we're getting macro buy signals, whether on whatever indicator you have. Some front run, some are lagging. So try to use some of that reverse psychology to your advantage. And instead of feeling, what's the word I'm looking for, discouraged when your stuff's selling off, if you've done your research and you like the forward future potential of a stock, then when it goes down, you should be getting excited that you're getting it at a discount. So we have to change how we're looking at the markets. We have to change how you're looking at your stocks. Again, if you do your own research, you'll know when there's times to get deeper value, and you'll make your own risks and decisions there. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and the weather's getting warmer and better wherever you are viewing from. If there are any stocks or altcoins, crypto things, anything you would like for me to take a look at or consider, please comment below. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching the video, and have a great day. See ya.